Hey, welcome to the Long Island Housing Podcast with Tom McGivern. That's me. Every month I go over what's going on in the market. I kind of do two podcasts a month. One about available inventory, and then the second one usually about, keeping track of what's going into contract. So today we're basically I'm going to go over what's going on in Suffolk County. Sometimes I do Suffolk County, Nassau, and Queens. I rope them all together. Today I'm only doing Suffolk, and I kind of went over some more in-depth stuff. So this is only Suffolk. So if you're interested in Nassau or Queens, you can always respond to this wherever you're hearing it. Leave a comment. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook, and the podcasts are on Spreaker. If you go in, I think you can search Long Island Housing Podcast or something, and it'll come up. So you can also call me 631-831-9048. That's my cell. You can text me there as well. So for January, as of February 3rd, I'm not really going to compare this to the previous months either, because I don't have the stats in front of me. But I do know that there are 5,431 homes for sale in Suffolk County. That is an increase over what was on the market for sale last month. I don't know how many new listings was added, but I know that it is, we've added some listings since last time we did this. And then I always break them down, under 300, 3 to 500, 500 to 750, and then over 750. So under 300,000, there are 804 houses for sale. Between 300 and 500,000, there's 1,974 houses that are on the market currently for sale. Then between 5 and 750, it's 1,134 houses. And then 750 and above is 1,527 houses. So that number there, obviously the bulk of those brackets is 3 to 500,000. Right? That makes up 36% of all the listings, which would make sense. But the over 750, that makes up 28%, almost a third of the market, as price over 750. That higher end still is it's got a lot of listings. So if you're a buyer in that market, it's leaning towards being a buyer's market. Okay, especially those houses with really high taxes. Right now, we don't see them moving. Listen, between 500, over 500 grand, that makes for the list price, that's 50% of the market in Suffolk County. So that being said, if you're a buyer again in those areas, the market is leaning in your direction. I sent out an email recently to kind of like my subscribers, my past clients and stuff, etc. It's about 300-400 people, and I talked about the market and how Long Island Business News and Newsday, but both had come out with, Newsday always does, their thing. They make a headline, but then they contradict the headline in the content of the article. They always do that. And both suggested that Long Island Business News and Newsday, other mediums, I'm sure you'll see those media outlets, that the market's kind of slowing down. There's less and less homes are going into contract, and we'll get that on the next podcast when I do it, maybe about a week or two from now. So I did send that email out, and if you want actually to me to email that to you, you can always just text me your email, your name and email. That's fine, 631-831-9048, and I can add you to that email. So we have 5,431 homes on the market right now as of February. Out of those, about 10% is distress sales. So it's just over 10%. 281 short sales, which is a house that's being sold below what the owners owe for it. And usually that means that the value is the value of the home, what a buyer is willing to pay, is less than what they owe. And then the REO, which is real estate owned, which represents bank owned, that's 318 houses. So the total of 599 houses, which represents about over 10% of the market, which is about, I guess, normal. That's the way it's been for a while. So no changes there. Want to make a quick note. I think a lot of people are, obviously a lot of people are using Zillow, and on that website, I get a lot of people. We get a lot of people contacting us about foreclosures, and it's a term that's misused. And I'm not going to go over this too much, but just so you know, a home that is in the process of foreclosure, that's all that is. The foreclosure is the process. Once that process is gone all the way through to where the bank actually either A, sells it at auction or buys it back at auction, which is what normally happens, then it becomes bank owned. So a lot of those listings that you see, foreclosure or pre-foreclosure, they're not really listings. So when you're on Zillow, if you see a house and it looks interesting to you, click on the See More tab, and even if you're on Trulia, click on the See More tab. Go See More. And then scroll down all the way, basically to the bottom, that See More category where they're giving you all, other data points about the house, and you'll find an ML number, a multiple listing number. If it doesn't have one of those, that means it's not for sale. That just means it's foreclosed on. So if it has an ML number, it's going to start with a 3, maybe a 2, and it's going to be 7 digits long, or it'll start with a P, the letter P as in Paul. If it doesn't have that, it's not for sale. So you can't buy it, or you can go door knock it or try and contact the bank or whatever. That's up to you, but it is, for our purposes, it's not on the market with a listing. So note that. So out of these houses in Suffolk County, which I started just breaking it, hey, how many have 2 bathrooms? And I was, I just pulled 2 or more bathrooms. It's 4,422 houses. So a majority of the houses out there have more than 2. I tried doing up to 1.5 because that would be less than 2, and it gave me this number that didn't make sense. So the data point was off. So I do have that. If you're looking for a house with 2 or more baths, there's a good chance, that you're going to 3/4 of the market basically has 2 bathrooms. Central air conditioning. You're looking for central air. 2,805 of those houses have. Just the audio here. It's a little loud. Maybe that's better. 2,805 houses have central air. But I thought it was interesting. If you went down right in Florida, it'd be like, if there were 5,400 houses, I think 5,400 houses would have central air conditioning. So here we have, a little bit over half of the houses have, or just about half, have that. So if you want one garage, at least 1 car garage, not a half garage, a 1 car garage or more, 3,624 houses. So a majority of the houses out there have, they have garages. Waterfronts, there's 541 available. Of those under 500,000, there's only 78. So I do get phone calls from time to time, people looking for waterfront houses, and they want something, for like 300,000 or 400,000. They're very, very tough to come by. So please note that. Majority of the houses that are waterfront are over 500. Okay? So if you're out there looking for a deal on the water, you got 78 houses to choose from. Give me a call. I'll gladly send some to you. Right? You can also email me at tom@tommcgivern.com, which or you can email me at tmcgivern@brynelliott.com. That's a better one. I'm not going to spell it, but text is, of course, always good. So then I jumped into condos. So that was houses in Suffolk County only. Condos, Suffolk County. The numbers are a lot less, but I did find 2 interesting things. Condos, 567 condos for sale as of February 3rd. And that's on the multiple listing service. Again, that's the same as houses, and maybe I'll get into that at the end. Up to 300 is 251 houses. Over 300, 316 houses. 251 condos. Under 300, over $300,000 asking price. It's 316 condos. So it's about 50-50. But if you think about it, up to 300, there's 251. Over 300, which is all 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, right? So the majority of the condos are in that price range, even though it's half and half, because you're looking at a larger spectrum of price ranges, which brought me to the thought, hey, what's the most expensive condo on Long Island? I would love to, if I had more. Actually, one of the things I wanted to say is I have a lot of listeners. I think I've had 230 or so plays in the last couple of months. That's pretty good. That's a lot. I guess the information's interesting. But I'd love to put it out there one day. Say, hey, email me your responses. What do you think? Maybe I'll do that on the next month or the month after. Get a little engagement going with the people who are maybe listening. So, but I do have the information here, so I'm going to share it. Most expensive condo for sale is in Sag Harbor. It's $4,200,000 for a condo on Long Island. $4,200,000. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It has amenities, the development, everything else. You pay for those things as well when you buy a condo. But 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,281 square feet. That's the total square footage of the unit. That's 1,841 per square foot. That doesn't include the square footage of, let's say, the clubhouse. Doesn't take into consideration other things, but let's just go by that square footage, and that's pretty expensive. Can you imagine paying $1,841.30 per square foot? I do, actually. So if you can afford that and you're looking, give me a call. I'd like to send you this listing, right? You definitely can afford it for those in that echelon of our economy. I don't know what the taxes were. I didn't write them down, but that would have been interesting as well, what the common charges were. So now on the flip side of that, the least expensive condo, co-op, homeowner association, townhouse, the least expensive is in Manorville. And it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And it's $39,990. That's the least expensive. I was surprised by that. I knew that there was a development in Manorville that had some lower, price units, but that one, certainly took me. That's like less than some of the, there's like, trailers and whatnot in certain areas. It can go up as high as maybe 100 something thousand. So there's a condo for sale. I believe it's a 55 and older too. I'm not sure, but that's in Manorville. Gives you a little bit of the flavor of the market. So the price ranges for condos, 567 of them. There's $39,990. Call me for the deal if you deal of the century there. Or on the other end of the spectrum, in Sag Harbor, waterfront, $4,200,000. I'll hook you up with either one. That's basically basically a wrap on this information. There was a thought I had earlier was I was going to mention it, but I forgot what it was. Doesn't matter. If you have any questions, certainly, or if you're thinking about putting your house on the market, our team, the Bryn Elliott team, we're like super, happy to help you out, answer any of your questions, give you some marketing advice. Of course, if you list with us, we'll have a full marketing plan for you. And this is an indication. It's only 5,431 houses for sale. That's low inventory. And even though the market's slowing down in terms of the rate of sales, even though that's slowing down, the low inventory is what's really going to keep us chugging along, and that low rate. So even though the the market's slowing down a little bit. There's less people buying houses. The fact of the matter is, this being as low as it is going to continue pushing this train along at a steady pace. So it is going to remain largely a seller's market overall, especially under that under that $500,000 range, where there's only a total of 1,900 between 300 and 500, and below 3 is 800. So together that's like it's like 2,700 homes. That's really low. So give me a call if you have any questions. 631-831-9048. I appreciate you listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening.